Stop everything you think you know about mental health because chances are it's a lie. We've been fed myths, stigma, and flat-out falsehoods for years, and it's costing people their lives today. I'm ripping those lies apart and showing you how to unlearn them once and for all. This isn't about being tough or snapping out of it. This is about reclaiming your mind, your freedom, and your future. If you're ready to crush the stigma, take control, and finally understand what mental health really means, then stick with me, because we're about to change the game. Mental health is just about being strong or weak. Bust the toxic belief that mental illness equals weakness. Replace it with the truth. Mental health is biology, psychology, and environment, not willpower. Let's start with one of the biggest lies we've all been told, that mental health struggles are about being weak, and if you were just tougher, stronger, or more disciplined, you wouldn't feel the way you do. Sound familiar? Maybe you've heard someone say, just push through it, or stop being so sensitive. The problem is, those statements aren't just unhelpful, they are dangerous. They create shame. They stop people from reaching out for help. And worst of all, they make you believe that what you're experiencing is a character flaw instead of what it really is, a health issue. Think about it. If someone breaks their leg, no one says, walk it off, don't be weak. No, we rush them to the hospital, we get them care, we recognize that the body needs treatment. Mental health is no different. Anxiety, depression, PTSD, OCD, these aren't signs that you lack willpower. They're conditions influenced by genetics, brain chemistry, life experiences, and even the environment you're in. You don't muscle your way through diabetes, you manage it with the right tools and support. Mental health deserves the exact same respect. Here's the truth. Strength isn't pretending you're fine when you're not. Strength is saying, I'm not okay and I need help. Strength is making that therapy appointment, taking that medication, or opening up to someone you trust. That's courage, that's resilience. And once we unlearn the toxic idea that mental health struggles equal weakness, we open the door to real healing for ourselves and for the people around us. So the next time you catch yourself, or someone else falling into that old mindset, stop it right there. Rewrite the script, because struggling doesn't make you weak, ignoring it does. Therapy and medication are for crazy people. Debunk stigma around seeking professional help. Reframe therapy and treatment as tools of strength and self-mastery. Another damaging lie we need to talk about is this one: therapy and medication are only for crazy people. I can't tell you how many times I've heard that exact phrase, and every time it makes me cringe, because here's the truth. Therapy and medication aren't about being crazy. They're about being human. Every single one of us faces challenges in life, and sometimes those challenges are bigger than what we can carry on our own. When your car breaks down, you call a mechanic. When you're sick with an infection, you see a doctor. So, why do we act like getting help for our mental health is any different? Therapy is not about lying on a couch while someone in a lab coat judges you. It's about having a safe space where you can unpack what's going on inside your mind with someone who's trained to help you sort through it. It's learning coping tools, gaining perspective, and finding strategies that actually work in your daily life. And medication, it's not some magic pill that changes who you are. It's a tool, one of many, that can help bring balance back to your brain chemistry so you can live your life with more clarity, energy, and stability. Here's the thing: using therapy or medication doesn't make you broken. It makes you proactive. It means you're taking responsibility for your health the same way you would if you wore glasses to see better, or used crutches to help a broken leg heal. There's nothing shameful about using what's available to you to feel better, so let's erase this stigma once and for all. Seeking therapy or taking medication isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Because the bravest thing you can do is ask for help when you need it, and the smartest thing you can do is use every tool at your disposal to get better. You can just snap out of it, call out the harmful idea that depression or anxiety is a choice, show how healing takes time, strategies, and real support. One of the most frustrating lies about mental health is the idea that you can just snap out of it. If only it were that simple. If someone could flip a switch and make their depression, anxiety, or panic attacks disappear, don't you think they would have done it already? Telling someone to get over it isn't just dismissive, it shows a complete misunderstanding of how mental health actually works. And for the person hearing it, it adds an extra layer of guilt and shame, as if they're failing at something they should be able to control. Here's the reality. Mental health struggles are not about laziness or lack of motivation. They are complex conditions shaped by biology, chemistry, environment, and life experiences. You don't tell someone with asthma to just breathe harder. You don't tell someone with a broken arm to just heal faster. So, why do we treat mental health like it's a matter of choice or willpower? What people need is not pressure to fake being fine. They need compassion, time, and effective strategies. Recovery isn't instant. It's a process. Sometimes that process includes therapy. Sometimes it includes medication. Sometimes it's building small daily habits, creating supportive relationships, or making lifestyle changes. Most of the time, it's a combination of all of those things, and even then, healing doesn't happen in a straight line. There are ups and downs, good days and bad days, and that's normal. When we push the lie that people should just snap out of it, we silence them. We make them feel like their struggle isn't valid. But when we accept that mental health is real, that it takes time, and that it deserves care, we create the space for people to actually get better. So let's stop telling people to snap out of it and start standing with them instead. Because healing isn't about speed, it's about support. Talking about mental health makes things worse. Expose the silence culture that fuels stigma. Emphasize that open conversation is the first step toward real healing. Another huge lie we've been told is that talking about mental health only makes things worse, that opening up about what you're going through will somehow plant ideas in people's heads or cause problems that weren't there before. But let me tell you, silence is what makes things worse, not conversation. When we don't talk about mental health, we create a breeding ground for shame, stigma, and isolation. People start to believe they're alone in their struggles, when in reality, millions of others are going through the same battles. Think about how powerful it feels the first time you hear someone say out loud what you've been secretly carrying inside your head. Suddenly, you're not the only one anymore. Talking doesn't create pain, it validates it. It takes those heavy, hidden feelings and brings them into the light where they can be understood, supported, and treated. That's not danger, that's healing, and here's the other side of it. Staying quiet doesn't protect anyone. Avoiding the subject doesn't erase the problem. All it does is leave people to wrestle with it in silence. The truth is, conversations about mental health save lives. When we share our experiences, when we listen without judgment, we make it safer for others to come forward and get the help they need. Now, does it take courage to talk about these things? Absolutely. It can feel scary, even uncomfortable. But the alternative, keeping it all locked away, doesn't solve anything. It just prolongs the pain. Talking about mental health is not a weakness, and it's not a risk. It's a lifeline, so let's break the silence, let's normalize the conversation, and let's remind each other that the only thing talking makes worse is stigma. Success means you're mentally healthy. Break the illusion that wealth, status, or fame equals happiness. Share how even high achievers struggle, and that's okay. Here's another lie that trips so many people up. If you're successful, then you must be mentally healthy. We've all seen the image, someone with the perfect job, the perfect family, the perfect social media feed, and we assume they've got it all figured out. But success on the outside doesn't guarantee peace on the inside. In fact, some of the most accomplished, high-achieving people in the world quietly struggle with anxiety, depression, or burnout, while everyone around them praises how together they are. The problem with this lie is that it teaches us to equate achievement with well-being. If you're hitting goals, making money, or getting recognition, you must be fine, right? But here's the truth. External success and internal health don't always match up. You can be climbing the corporate ladder while battling panic attacks every morning. You can be acing exams while feeling completely numb inside. You can be loved by millions online and still feel desperately alone when the cameras turn off. And when we buy into this myth, it makes it harder for people to reach out for help. They feel trapped by their own image. If everyone thinks I'm doing great, how can I admit that I'm not? That kind of pressure doesn't heal anyone. It isolates them further. We have to stop confusing success with wellness. True mental health isn't about how things look from the outside. It's about how you're actually living and feeling on the inside. It's being able to sleep at night, to feel joy, to connect with people you love, to manage stress without collapsing under it. That's real health, and no paycheck, trophy, or Instagram post can replace it. So let's remember this. Success might shine on the outside, but it doesn't always tell the truth about what's happening inside. Mental health is something you either have or don't. Replace black and white thinking with the reality. Mental health is a spectrum. Show practical ways to maintain mental wellness daily. One of the most common lies about mental health is that it's something you either have or you don't, like it's black and white. You're either mentally ill or mentally healthy. But that's not how it works at all. Mental health exists on a spectrum, and every single one of us is on it. Just like physical health, it changes day to day depending on stress, sleep, environment, relationships, and even genetics. Some days you might feel unstoppable. Other days you might feel completely drained. That fluctuation doesn't mean you're broken, it means you're human. Think about physical fitness. No one says you're either an Olympic athlete or completely out of shape. We recognize that health is something you work on, something that takes maintenance and care. Mental health is no different. It requires habits, routines, and check-ins, things like sleep, nutrition, movement, mindfulness, and social connection. They all add up to make a difference. And just like with physical health, if you neglect it for too long, problems show up. The danger of the you either have it or you don't mindset is that it keeps people from paying attention until things feel overwhelming. It makes people think, well, I'm not that bad, so I don't need help. But waiting until you're in crisis is like waiting until your car completely breaks down before ever taking it in for an oil change. Preventive care matters. Small, consistent steps matter. We all move along this spectrum, sometimes without even realizing it. And the more we understand that mental health is an ongoing part of life, not a label you're stuck with, the more empowered we become to care for it every single day. So let's unlearn the lie that mental health is something you either have or don't. The truth is, mental health is a journey, and it's one we're all on together. We've spent this time unlearning the lies we've been told about mental health, and here's the truth that matters most. Struggling doesn't make you weak, getting help doesn't make you broken, and success doesn't mean you're immune. Mental health isn't a label, it's a lifelong journey, one we're all walking together. The more we challenge the myths, the more space we create for real healing, real conversations, and real change. So let's stop hiding, stop judging, and start supporting each other. Because when we rewrite the story around mental health, we don't just change lives, we save them.